By the look in your eye, I can tell you're gonna cry. Is it over me? Is it because I'm in Bali? If it is, save your tears, for I am not worth it, you see. Because I'm the type of guy who is always welcome everybody, cheers. On the run, wherever I go, wherever I lay my scissors and comb, wherever I lay my incense sticks, that's my home. Look at my home right now. Bali. Yes. Right now I should be in Bangkok, an oriental city. And you know, I said to you guys yesterday, I pulled a card with a guy, like there's red and orange all around him, and yeah, I'm going to show it you now. Hang on, let me turn it. There you go. There's the bugger. That's the bugger. That's the one that I turned over. Should I go or shouldn't I go? That's the card I got. You should have listened. I should have loved you. Dun, dun, dun. I should have loved you. Okay. Hey, should we talk about cards? I don't know. Do you want to talk about cards? Do you like talking about cards? Do you want to talk about cards? So much to talk about today. So much to talk about in so little time. There's always a reason for these things happening, and funnily enough, a dear friend of mine sent me a meme, a message, and basically it says, you know, you just don't know why things block you, why, but eventually you do. Eventually you look back and realize why. I've got a new oil that I created, and when I was trying to meditate on it, what I thought was argan oil, and every time I thought, argan oil, what am I putting argan oil in there for? I was kind of confused all the time. Weird. Argan oil. What I didn't realize is that my connection to what I believe is this universe trying to help us, my connection isn't brilliant. I have to work frigging hard. And even when I get signs like that, I'm still stubborn and still think I can change things, but it just didn't feel right. And then what popped in my head was, look up the most purest and most expensive oil in the world. I'm like, oh, right, great, okay. So I did. I typed in the most expensive essential oil in the world, and it wasn't argan oil. It was argan oil, AGAR. So I was kind of similar to a lot of mediums that used to sit with me sometimes and go, Denada. Why am I hearing Denada? Is that your mum? Denada. I said, well, her last name was Detata. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. So, you know, sometimes you get a really clear connection. Sometimes you kind of like struggle with it, but you also know that there's something still not quite right. But you fight with it with your brain because, you know, it's the first one. Should I, shouldn't I, should I, can I try and change it? Something else I can, you know, relate to? Can I, you know, make it a bit better? So, and then when I got that feeling, this is the oil that I need to put in my new blend of a healer. So I hunted and I found some in Indonesia, and it was through a friend of a friend, and they've been working with oils for donkey's years, and they had some, cost me a fortune, absolute fortune. So I put 3 drops in every mix that I do, And funnily enough, something just when I was in the forest with Ole and Kim, I said something was said, and like, wow, they've got oud trees there. Oud trees. Agar wood trees. They've got them here. They've got them in their place that they're building. Oh, that was amazing. So when I did my kind of research, started studying, spent a few days studying it, you realise that there's different grades of this tree. And to extract, just like Palo Santo, you have to extract, you can extract the purest form. But here's the amazing thing, right? With the oud tree, there are times when that tree has been attacked by a certain disease, parasite, whatever it is, and the tree, as trees are so clever, it creates its own medicine to heal itself. So this is the dummy version, as I'm explaining to you. It goes a lot deeper than this. I'm just giving you the like surface. When it creates this secretion, that secretion is the purest form of oud oil, and that's where you pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for a little tiny bottle. So I wanted that. I wanted that pure extraction from Mother Nature's healing, her protection, her clearing of this disease that is attacking the tree. Makes sense. 3 little drops, you don't need much because it's super concentrated, and you put it into the mix. That's what I did. So now I'm able to go and visit one of the oldest families here in Bali, and only because I'm not going to Bangkok that I'm able to hopefully go and see them, spend some time, and burn some of the wood, because you can burn the wood like you would Palo Santo, and then talk about the purest of oil, of this incredible oil, which so that's it really. Great. Let's talk about so these are the cards that I used to use. They were given to me by a guy, a lovely guy who was in Germany at the time, and I used to work with a smaller deck, but he found these online and he sent me these, and I've kept them ever since, and I've used them for teaching, sharing and guiding people in the art of these cards. I don't actually like calling it tarot reading, because to me they don't feel like tarot cards, they feel like they're images, and I like that better than the word tarot, because it doesn't relate as much to tarot as what it would do to the awakening of your senses to then move forward with that conversation, with that story, rather than look at a way deck and then know what the way deck basically means and then repeat what you're seeing because you've learnt from the card. I actually like, same as pure energy healing, to flow. I like you to just open up and see what happens, see what comes to you. Don't block that because you've been taught something and that's the only thing you can see, because there's freaking frustration in that. There's frustration in that. And I think a lot of tarot readers don't realise that. They get frustrated because their super senses are squashed by a teaching, by this is the cups, this is the coins, this is the the swords, and this is the wands, the mind. Like, sometimes none of them mean anything when you are looking at something like an image. Like, I mean, there's so many images, like this image, or this image, or this image, or this image. And I like these because what are you looking at? When I ask somebody who wants to learn from me, what are you looking at? And they look at something completely different from what I'm looking at. I like that because I realize that what you're looking at and where you're coming from as you're speaking and you're seeing what you're seeing is the same as what I'm seeing, but coming from a different angle, a different point of view. And I'm coming from it from underneath, you're coming from it from the top. And that's how this beautiful tool for like stepping into something, and then the story starts to come through. I always remember sat with many people, and they looked at the card, and then they started talking, and then their eyes turned away from the card, and then they talked for 10-15 minutes. Like, where did you see that? Afterwards. And they go, I don't know. It just came. I said, that's intuition. That's attuning. That's connecting to the very energy that you're trying to help and deal with. Some people don't see it. Some people fight and don't want to see it. True, it's true. You read for yourself. Some people will fight because I don't want to see that. It's not what I wanted to see. Just like me. Just like this bloody card. I didn't want to see it. At first I did. At first I said, okay, I'm not going. As soon as I turn that over, I'm not going. And then the next morning, maybe I should. Maybe I should go. Let's turn another card over. Oh, it's not that bad. Looks like it's all going to be fine. Turn another card over. Oh, yeah, it's going to be... Like, no, the card, what you got, was exactly what happened, pal. Wake up. How long you been doing this for? Yeah, but. No, not but. So let's do a little... Let's have a little bit of fun, eh? Let's have a bit of fun with these beautiful cards. Let's have a bit of fun. Okay, so... will I be going to see this family? And is this family beautiful? Are they kind? Are they all about love and working with the tree? Are they all about the love for the oil? Or are they just more about the business? They want to be rich. They don't care about anything else. It's just about money. They don't care about the product. So let's just have a look and see what the card says. Okay, so I'll just do this with you guys so you can see me now. I'll just grab a card and I'll show it you first. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about this card. Okay, this is the healer card. This is the healer card, and actually you can see the word healer written across here. And this is an old man. This is a man who knows his truth, is wise, and understands everything about what he's working with. This is, obviously, there is money on here. You can see money, but it's at the bottom. So it's nowhere near here. Here is all about wisdom, nature. It's all about understanding. It's everything that makes this man the healer of the nature. I can actually even see the wood. So you see money down there. Money is there at the bottom because the lower down it is that's not that important, but you can see the money is there. So yes, it's going to be expensive. Up here is the wisdom, the knowledge, the key to understanding it properly. So this is a good sign. It's a good sign. It's telling me everything I need. I'm in good hands. When I look at the eyes, I see truth. I see somebody looking at you as if to say, you need to learn, you need to understand this. Somebody who's passionate, somebody who's, I wouldn't say judgmental, but somebody who wants to teach you and is watching you to see if you're full of shit or, if you really truly are interested in in what I'm showing you. This person doesn't take fools lightly. He doesn't want to just start to talk to you if you're just only about the money. So I like that. I like that because hopefully you'll see in me nothing about the money. It's about the product and what it does and how it heals. So when he sees that in me and sees that I'm a healer, hopefully he will be kind, open, and share, and we might have a lovely relationship, working relationship. So there you go. Little bit of fun. Cards are incredible, guys. Cards are incredible. Now, did I need to, read all about tarot? Did I need to go through the wands and no, I didn't need to do any of those things. Say what you see, and then it just comes out, and that's cool. Don't need to look at anything else. Start looking at anything else, then it's not the same. You've got your message. So anything else isn't a message. Wake up, Mark. 20 years of working with the cards, and you got your message, and then you're still at it. You're still, well, could they be wrong? Could it be that? But like, come on, how long do you need? Bajerski. Still at school, lad. So that's good. And if you're asking if you want me to read the card for you, I'm not going to do it. It's actually knackering when you're doing it for somebody else. It's tiring. And what's tiring is that the brain, the fear, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to think that you're going to do something because of a card that I say. I don't want that responsibility. I don't need that shit in my hands. It's terrible. Imagine doing that for 20 years and having to focus, and this is serious shit. You're doing this, and these people can really embrace that and take that path, and it might be awful for them. It might not work out. It might be, and that fear. Luckily, it never went like that with me. Luckily, it was giving information that gave them different thoughts, gave them ideas, but ultimately they would take their own path and journey. So when somebody says to me, should I do this or shouldn't I do that? I can't stand that. I hate that. Do it for myself and look at just what happened. I ended up ignoring it, and then it's just crap. But when you look into the spiritual, when you start talking about what the cards are really for, your spiritual path, how you can grow, what kind of things will help you. Sorry about my phone, guys. This, it just doesn't do that, and then all of a sudden it does it all the time, and it's like put off. And sometimes I forget to switch it off. But yeah, I'll do something for me now, right? So I'll show you what I mean, okay? I take the cards and I'll say, what do I need to know? That's it. What do I need to know? Show you before I see it myself. So this card, when I look at this card, it talks about learning, new learning. Be cautious, be careful, don't rush into anything. When you learn, it's a matter of years rather than minutes or hours. When you are walking a path of new understanding, be careful. I see the hermit, but I see it like caution. And as you can see in the eyes, there's caution there. Look, I'm a bit cautious. And keeping a clear mind is really important, because if that fog was down there, he'd have a clouded mind. But as you can keep your mind clear, there's a beautiful star there that normally is an indication that it's not just the wish energy, but it's the deeper understanding, the knowing, the pineal, the connection between the spirit and the body and the mind. So this is what needs to be always worked on. So keep the connection. Just be aware where people start talking about science, and this is this, and this is science, and it's just tread carefully. Tread carefully means that when you've got, you know, the hermit's got the stick, and as the hermit walks, he's putting his stick in front of me. Just make sure that there ain't no holes that he's going to fall down. And he's also got a lantern. That lantern is to make sure that you see correctly. And that's so important. So use your intuition more than anything. Use your intuition and understand what you're working with, because it's funny, because what I was thinking, maybe a new incense stick out of agar wood, agar wood, whatever it's called. And funnily enough, like I may be thinking about buying, I don't know, half a ton, investing a lot of money and sending it to Peru and asking my Peruvian beautiful people to mix it, to break it down and make them into sticks. I'm sure they would if I asked them. And you know what the stick looks like, right? Well, I've just seen the stick. It's there. And what does that look like? Would you say that looks like my cleansing negative energy sticks? And would that look like the bits of wood from it to create that? Well, this card says caution. It says caution. Be careful. So now my thoughts are, okay, before I go in there and like, okay, I want it all, you make one stick. Caution, make one stick. And it makes sense, because when it means one stick, it means a bunch, just a few. And then bring them back and then start doing some work. Send them off to healers and say to them, what is this? What is it for? It's a stick, but tell me what it's for, what it's good for. I'll use it, work with it, ask the healer, what's it good for? As you burn it, I already know what it's good for in my blend of a healer, and it's incredible. You just need to look at all the people who use blend of a healer. They are telling everybody. It's selling like crazy. Everybody loves it. They say, what the heck was that? Even one naturopath, even one, who's the latest one? He has a natural shop that sells everything for natural organic healing the body and stuff like that. I gave him a bottle. A guy came in last week and he was in absolute pain, and the guy said, have you got anything natural? He says, not really. He says, but a friend of mine, a healer, has made an oil. Do you want to just try it? And he said, yeah. So he put a few drops on his arm, and they started talking about something, and then within 5 minutes he went out. The guy went out, right? Within 2 minutes the guy came back in and says, what was that what was that stuff? The pain's gone. And the guy said, oh, it's my mate, and he gave him the bottle. Like, seriously, this stuff is incredible. However, getting back to this, don't rush into anything. It's a good idea to try and maybe make some sticks, but it's important, like, just check and find out what it's for. What is its use as a smoke? Very important. What's the point in doing it if the smoke isn't relevant to what you're doing? What's the point? So totally I get that. I get it. Don't have a clouded judgment. Don't just rush in there and buy the lot. Think about it carefully. Work with it. This is all about learning new. I don't know if you can see it, but all of this is like, it basically to me looks like a labyrinth, meaning that you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to figure out where you're going with this and what it's good for. Makes sense. So yeah, you see how you play with cards now, how incredible they are, right? They're incredible. They really are. They can help you. They can get your feet back on the ground so you don't make mistakes. I said this before. I used to read for multi-gazillionaires. I mean, the richest of rich. You would never believe how rich these people are. I read for people at the highest industry of corporations. I read for, believe it or not, MPs. I read for loads and loads of these people who work in the president's office. I read for loads of people. Just so you know, not one of them would ever mention my name. It would mean that they would lose their job. But it used to make me laugh how many people that I read for that worked alongside the president or presidents. President of Poland, you know, I would never name names because it's their end of their career and they would obviously, it's discretion. You can't talk about stuff like that. You've got to keep it. But I did recognize that there were, and I did say this and I mean it wholeheartedly, there are some people who, only a few, and they don't last long, who get into the world of politics, but normally they're spat out because they won't pull their pants down or they won't, you know, enter into an orgy, so they get caught and then they're ruined. So what I mean is that, you know, they won't take a backhander. They're normally gone pretty quick, but most of them are, readings were different than healings. I've got to say they were different. They were different because healings were, I never really experienced that many healing sessions with bad souls because it was like torture to them. So what I mean is that a bad soul, a dark soul, a soul that came from a different world, when you're giving healing, there's no connection there. You can't heal them. So as a healer, you're wondering what's going on, and you can see the uncomfortableness.
Because we still the maintenance the town.
Look, there's loads of seats, by the way. There's loads of seats. Loads. Now I'm talking about this. Yeah, over there. Please, over there. Yeah, over there. Yeah, go over there. No, like say, sit right next to me. Good idea. Yeah, brilliant. I'm kidding. It's empty, but they want to sit right next to me. They don't know. Nobody knows why they do that. We know, but they don't know. So, where was I? This is exactly why they do this. It's because they do this so that I stop talking about something that's important. So, lying down, I'm working on a guy that has been forced to come by a wife who says, if you don't come, I can't cope with living with you anymore. You're abusive, you're blah, blah, blah. You've got to go or else I'm going. That was a normal thing that happened every now and again, okay? And I knew when a guy came and he was booked in for a healing session, he would try and change it to a reading. And I said, well, you booked him for a healing session, so we should do the healing session. Maybe afterwards, we'll take a look afterwards, maybe. And that was very clever of Spirit, because what I was getting was that there is no connection, there is no love, there is no healing taking place. This is almost like the guy is being burnt, he's feeling sick, he's trying to reject it, it's like poison to him. That's like, imagine doing a healing session and for the first time you're like, what's going on here? You have to understand this, and you realize that the person that you're healing is an abuser, is a nasty piece of work, and the energy that he lives off and thrives from and feeds from is pain and suffering. That's why he abuses his wife, because he steals her energy and then tells her he loves her and gives her flowers and then abuses her again. And it's like, it's not an addiction, it's feeding the energy that he needs. So when I'm giving him love, pure energy healing from the universe, universal healing, I'm thinking I'm giving it to you, which you will absorb, and it will heal your body, and you will get stronger and feel inner peace, because that's the frequency and energy of your home world. It's called the spirit world. His world is from another world. He comes from another world, a world where pain and suffering is energy that they feed from. So you could call it darkness, heaviness, pain, suffering, jealousy, anger, bitterness, any kind of trauma. That's their energy. That's where they get their peace from. That's where they get their joy and stuff. If you understand that, you'll understand life. So after that session, I felt sick. They got up and they went. But my point being is, a lot of these so-called monsters, these dark spirits that are inside these bodies, came for readings, and I could feel that you're not like anybody else I've read for. You're different. You're very different. And there's so many characteristics that are similar. So like your characteristics are this, okay? If somebody falls and in front of you, you feel sick instantly. The first reaction is, what do I do? Am I able to help? What can I do? I don't want to cause any more pain. Should I run over? Should I help? Yes, please, like anybody, please help, okay? To these monsters, they see somebody fall, and inside they're feeding from it. They love the fear, the pain, the suffering, the blood. And if they go over, they're feeding from it. They're feeding from it, loving it. They want it to continue. Some will laugh and enjoy it, really love that pain. They love it. It's wonderful to them. So when you're reading for somebody who is a spirit that comes from a darker world, a world where anything goes, which is dark, anything goes, which is dark. Whereas you, anything goes, which is light. So you're into love, kindness, sharing, caring, giving. Anything goes of light. Anything to them goes with darkness. So if they're, let's say, I read for somebody and they're from Hollywood and they were a budding actor, they were, say, like a C-lister, they were just coming up, they're going to be fine, because they're going to be happy to drop their pants at any given moment to do whatever they're asked to do. Selling their soul, there's no such thing as selling your soul if you're already that energy, just so you know. It's a word that people use, but actually if you're dark, you're not selling your soul. Your soul's already that colour. Your soul's already that energy. So it's like going for a wash. It's like you going for a wash. For them, they'll stay dirty. They prefer to stay dirty. It's hard to explain, but what you mean? You're looking for a sugar daddy? You're looking for somebody who you're telling me you're happy to have a manager that if it means that you have to bend down and do something for somebody, you're happy to do that. You tell me who and I'll do it. Who am I talking to here? Who is this? What the hell is inside this person to be thinking like this? And you go through this process of being a psychic, beginning to understand people and breaking free from the programming that is you're unlearning from psychology, psychiatrists. It's all bullshit. All of that is there. It's all bullshit. The truth is that there's good souls that come from a beautiful world, and then there's the souls that are darker. And those souls, anything goes in that dark energy, because that's what they feed from. They don't even think twice about stealing your money. The only guilt they feel is if anybody finds out and catches them. because they don't want to be found out and caught. That's not guilt. It's fear of somebody finding out what they've done. But other than that, if they've done something to you, or if done something which you would think is disgusting, like you would rape a child, like to them it's like they can live happily ever after because that's normal to them. They can abuse you and steal off you. I remember reading for a woman, and I knew she were like, you've got this persona as if you're lovely, you're kind, but you're not. I've got my hands over you and you're a dark soul. And it ends up that I knew there was something dark about this person. And when I was reading, I'm like, this is all about fear of being caught about something. And I'm like, there's something. And I'm saying to this lady, and this lady doesn't give a shit about what I'm saying. I'm trying to help her see that what she's doing is wrong. I didn't know exactly what she was doing, but I could see that she was causing great suffering to people. And I'm looking at her thinking, there's no guilt. She doesn't care at all. She just wants to know how to get out of this situation. And I, of course, am looking to try and find her to get out of this situation so she doesn't cause more pain. So I'm trying to find a solution to this monster. And the solution was, I'm not telling you what it is because this woman was on the Costa del Sol. But I asked her to I said, this is the change that you need to do. You need to stop doing what you're doing and do this. And the chances are you won't get into the trouble that maybe you could do. And she was so excited. And she thought I was amazing. And I'm like, I don't like what I'm doing here. And I can see so many elderly men and women not just crying, but almost taking their life. And I'm like, you fucking witch, what are you doing, you monster? And it's hard because as a healer and a psychic, you've got to be on the fence. You can't be judgmental. You've got to, like, you've got to keep that out of you can't judge, you've got to help the situation so whatever happens, it doesn't happen again. Your goal is to make things better. And for you, it would be easier because I know that you're a good soul, but imagine reading for a monster, from a person that's dark, that feeds from pain and suffering. And I didn't know what it was that she did, but I knew, I could feel it was bad. I could feel it. You're a deceiver. I got the deceiver card. I got all sorts of stuff that I'm like, I can feel you. There's no soul in there like mine. You're different. You're a soul. You're a soulless, but you are a soul. But the soulless is the energy of darkness, heaviness, hurting, causing pain, being destructive, being deceiving. I can feel this energy is normal. To them, it's normal. Imagine me fighting with myself saying, why is this happening? Why? Wasn't attachments, wasn't entities, wasn't demonic. It was the spirit that was inside. It took years to understand this. I'm sharing you an hour of what took years for me to fight against a system that told me, oh, no, you're wrong, Mark. God made us all in the same likeness. What, you mean we're all the same then? We're all part of God? Oh yeah, we're all part of God. You're full of shit. You just said that just so that we never know truly who's inside these bodies, so that we never actually know the truth. So I remember reading for this other woman, and I saw the connection between that woman. But this woman was different. This woman that I read for was like, you're a good soul, and I can feel pain, I can feel suffering, I can feel shame, I can feel like you've sold your soul, but you know you sold your soul, right? So this is somebody that's come from my world, and as I looked and thought, wow, you've been deceived. You've been deceived. I'm telling this lady what I'm seeing. She's not talking to me, I'm talking to her. I said, you've been deceived by darkness. You've been deceived by evil. You've been deceived and you didn't realize. And before you knew it, you were into something that you couldn't get out of. And now you're here and you're fearful. You're shameful. You're shamed. You need to go. You need to get out. You need to run. And I could see that you're here because you live on the Costa del Sol and it's hard to make a living. It's hard to get a job. And you're thankful for the job because it's paying you. But look at what you're going through. And the woman's crying in front of me. I remember her to this day. She was crying in front of me. I remember her perfectly because it was one of those moments that burns into your psyche, which helps you as a reader for the future. And afterwards she opened up to me and told me about a certain woman, and I'm like, I don't suppose this certain woman came for a reading and she told you to come? And she said yes. And I said, that certain woman has hurt people, a lot of people, like I saw in the cards, older people. And she started crying. And I said, one, then, if you want to tell me, what is it? She'd got herself into what she thought was timeshare. Beautiful website. The elderly people of all over the world went to this website, started seeing how beautiful. You can buy a timeshare for 10,000. You can go twice a year, and it's beautiful. It's on the Costa del Sol. And sometimes you can upgrade to 20,000 and 30,000 and 50,000. Which is more, more of this and bigger this and beautiful that. And then these grandmas and granddads who have retired and they've got maybe 50,000 left, and it just sounds like a dream. They speak to these people on the phone and tell them, yes, it's, what they want to hear, and then the money goes into an account, and then these poor people find out that there is no timeshare. They find out that all the money's been stolen from them. And again, I have to not be angry. I have to not... It's at least that lady stopped. When she came for a reading, she stopped. I know she stopped. Did she go to prison? No, she didn't. She didn't get caught. Has she got a business now? She has got a business now. And it's doing well, and it's got nothing to do with that. I mean, you can look at me and judge me all you want, but all I know is that if I stopped her from doing that, that's all that matters. I'm not into law because I know that law is equally as pathetic. It's a lie. The law is just a joke. It's only there for low-hanging fruit. But the law is there to protect the paedophiles, the politicians, the CEOs. It's there to protect them from all the dirty and next-level crime that they do. So judge me as you will, but I'm just telling you my story about readings and healings. But yeah, going back to the readings, I'd have these guys come to me and they'd want to know certain things when it came to their work, whether it was politics and so on. And I have to sit there and help them. There was times, and I think I've mentioned it to you before, there were times where I'd read for somebody and they'd be cheating on me, and I knew when people came just to test me. That didn't bother me. I knew somebody come through the door who may be science-based, or somebody who came because they were really, really skeptical. None of them things bothered me. They didn't bother me. Sometimes I get pissed off with certain people with nasty attitudes, and I'd just say, I'm not reading for you, because I didn't like their attitude. I didn't like the way they were, and I'm like, I'm tired today. I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with the thousands of questions because you're not listening anyway. You're not going to listen, and you're just waiting for something that you want to hear. So what a waste of energy that would be. And that would normally be my issue with teachers. So I'd know a teacher a mile off. I'm not talking about kind teachers. I mean like the ego monster teachers. But I'd get multi-gazillionaires coming who were good souls, and they'd just lie down for a healing session. And they just know that the, the darkness that was around them and attached to them, entity, negative energy, people who were who were bad, they would feel that energy and it would stick to them, and they'd come for a healing session, and then they'd get up and pay. They'd normally pay double or sometimes treble because they were so rich. And that was really great. Thank you very much. And they'd be saying, no, thank you. And like they would say, I can do so much more. I can see so much more. I'm more stronger. I'm more alert. I'm more aware. I'm more calm. I have more peace. And I literally had clients who were gazillionaires who would come literally every month for a healing session. I'd have clients that would come to me for readings who were dealing with money. Now, I've always had an issue with money, so I had to fight with that, but I didn't like using my work for money. That was just a personal thing. So what they would do is they would come and put photos of certain buildings or people, or they just wrap a name inside a piece of paper and then put that there and say, can you tell me anything about this? And I like that. I used to love doing that. And then I realized that a lot of these guys were into what you would call Bitcoin now, but then it was more stocks and shares. So they would buy into companies that were just starting out. So I remember one guy in particular, it happened quite a lot. But I couldn't say to them, imagine saying, is this about money? Like, you just can't say that, but eventually you feel it and you know something's not right. And you don't mind every now and again, but I didn't like doing it, because for one thing, if you're betting money on something, I don't like that, because if you lose it, I'm going to feel bad. So don't do that. I don't like it. But what they would do is they would come and kind of lie and say, you know, these three things are a project. And it wasn't a project. They were just going to put money on them. And but one guy, I said to him, it just came out of my mouth, this isn't a project. This is about you making money. And he laughed. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't really want to do this. It just don't feel right for me. I'm trying to help people spiritually, mate. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't need you. At that time, it was €75 a session. And I said, it's not about the €75. It's about helping you move forward. Well, it is helping me, because if I make money, I'll be happy. So you need to find another psychic, mate. And then this guy, when I said that, he said, well, it's all right. You made me 160,000 anyway. So I did help people make money. For sure I did. Help people in business who were really, like one guy from Barcelona. He was lovely. And yes, he was a gazillionaire. He worked a lot in Costa Rica. He was doing a lot of work there for a lot of different projects, and would come to me and ask me about, like, please see if you can see anything about this project. And I would say, this project looks like it's going to get stuck. Looks like something's going to go pear-shaped, it's going to go wrong. And he'd say, thank you. Which at that point, he wouldn't tell me, but he would stop that project, wouldn't continue it. Amazing. We're talking millions. And he'd even put millions into it before he came to me. Point being that he trusted in whatever was coming through for him, wasn't me. It's not about ego. I don't know what the friggin' hell I'm looking at or talking about. I'm just sharing this stuff. Afterwards, I won't know what he's on about. And he was the guy that I went to his house. He'd just bought it in Marbella, and it was 24 bedrooms, and I had to cleanse that house out. So he was into it also. He was such a lovely guy, and always said to me, you're really weird, aren't you, with money? And I said, yeah. He said, you won't touch it, will you? I said, not when I'm doing this work. He said, you have to go downstairs and pay. And when I went to clean his place, I asked him, he started laughing again. He says, where do you want me to put the money? I said, in the box. He said, you really don't like money, do you? I said, I just have an issue with it. I don't know why. It's to do with this work. It's probably because I've been brainwashed by so many people saying, you're only about the money, or, oh, you do this work, but it should be free. You know, it's like that. that brainwashing really of spiritual or so-called spiritual or atheists that attack us. So yeah, of course it affects you. So there you go. I've gone all around the bush. I've gone all around the tree with this one. I don't know where I am, where I'm going with it, but I just thought that maybe there's something in there that might help. So if you actually like those cards and you think, oh, it's really nice, I'd really love to learn that. Well, I guess I don't talk about it enough, and I should. I believe I've got a lovely online. It's very raw. It's just me study like this, telling you about all the cards and how they work and how you can work with them. And it's on markbajerski.com. And it's October now, so I'm gonna tell the girls this morning to do a special offer. So you will get a set of these cards. That's if you want to learn. You get a set of these cards, but smaller ones, which is the normal size ones. And you'll get a link to Mark Bajerski's 10 hours tarot course. So it's everything that I've learned over 2 decades. It's raw. It's me in a room. But that's when I was just at the ending of my readings. I was just stopping at that point. So I'd got all the information. I'm fresh. I know everything about the cards. I think it's a pretty good course. It's not all singing and dancing. It's just a raw course with me stood there, sat down, sharing everything that I know about the cards, giving you insights within the cards, helping you see the cards, helping you understand them, helping you trust them, helping you move forward. And I also, through them 10 hours, I give you, I think, my most vital support in how to read them and how not to, and what to watch out for, and what to overcome. So I think it's a good course. So I'm going to go now. I don't know what time they're going to wake up. I'm not going to probably awake yet. So maybe in a couple of hours, I'm going to ask them to make the tarot course online a special offer. So you're going to get the cards, you're going to get them sent by DHL, and you're going to get the link, and it's going to be at an amazing price. I think it's a great course. And if you're going to learn from anybody, I don't think I'm that bad a person. I think there's probably thousands better than me out there, but what I've learned is slightly different. And even my mentor, who was the Psychic Queen of Ireland, that was my first mentor, and she only had a handful of students. She'd only have a handful of students, and she put those cards into my hands because she found them somewhere, and she said, these are for you. And she was bloody right. Bang on. They were for me. But if you're watching this now, maybe they're for you. I don't know. Maybe not. But at least it's not going to cost you, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 to learn. It's going to cost you less than, I don't know. I'll try and do it for 100 and some. So it's basically from my heart to yours, because I'm going to do it free DHL. And to send by DHL a heavy pack of cards now, it's anywhere between 28 and 35 euros. So you're going to get it at a great price, and the cards are normally about, I think, 25 euros they cost. So you've already got 50, 60 euros in free. So the rest is just a bit of money for the girls working, helping the wages and the business. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful course. I couldn't watch it, but I think it's beautiful because it was raw and it was truthful, and there was nothing more than love. And the people that when I did it, I had a handful of people on, maybe 25 people who were on that course, and they were all watching, and some of them people have ended up becoming really, really quite famous in reading. Looking back now and thinking about it, at least 3 of those people have been able to buy a house, do really, really well for themselves. So, I'm not saying that will happen with you, but hey, they might just help you. Even if it helps your children, or, just You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And look, don't listen to religion. Don't listen to the bullshit that religion talks about. Oh, you work with cards, you must be demonic. Come on, guys, wake up. Wake up. When you talk about, you know, religion, what about these guys thousands of years ago who did all what they did? You know, change water into wine, you know, saw the future. All Jesus's companions, they were all seers. They were all healers and seers. They were psychics. Nobody talks about that. So, parting of the sea, and like, hang on a minute. You're telling me I'm using my cards and that's demonic, and these guys doing all of these weird things, strange things, which don't happen anymore. That's another weird thing, innit? Right? But oh, that's okay because it was Jesus. That was okay. But we're doing just shut up. That's just another psyop, guys, to stop you from truly tuning into what darkness doesn't want you to tune into. So yeah, have a great day. They have never caused me any darkness. Darkness is what is inside you. If you're already dark, you're dark, and what you do is for darkness. If you're light, you're doing it for light, you're doing it for love, you're doing it for kindness, you want to help people. As simple as that. That's the nature of reality. So that's it really. Got anything to say? Anybody speaking? Because I can't see if anybody's saying anything. Yes. I took your course a few years ago and really enjoyed it. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. I'm glad you did, and I hope it helped a little bit. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. Happy. Keep up the good work, Matt. I do my best, honestly. I took the class. It's wonderful. I reading this with the family and close friends. You see, that's beautiful. And you know, just imagine helping one person, it changes their life, or they stop. You help them stop in doing something which could have been really bad and challenging. Isn't that worth a little bit? Isn't it worth 100? I mean, to me, like, my cards have just helped me now, because I might have just gone out and bought, you know, in the next few days, I might have spent 20 grand on wood, and then had them made and thought, but what is it good for? What is the smoke used for? And it might not have been. What I'm going to do with this? So in theory, my cards have just saved me 20 grand, because in my head, I was thinking, if they've got tons of it, I'm just going to buy loads of it and send it to, like, I was literally going to do that. I was going to invest in it. Now, I'm not. Now I might take a bag and then send it over, ask them to make it, and then send it back, and then send a few boxes out here and there and say, tell me what you think to this. What does it do? How does it work? And I'll do the same. And then if there is a certain thing that it works on, or only if it works on it, only if if it really works, will then I talk about it and put it on the market. So yeah, I guess what we've talked about today, what I've just said to you, might relate to you learning Carl Rohrig, who was an artist. He's not a psychic. He's a channeler with painting. He channels. So he's not like a reader. I don't think he does tarot cards or anything like that. He's just an old guy who's a little bit eccentric, wears wacky clothes. He's on Instagram. You'll see him there. He paints incredibly well, beautiful. He's a genius with his art. And he made these. And these are all pictures. Every one of these are large pictures that he sold for, I don't know, I think roughly about $50,000, something like that, or 50,000 euros, anywhere between, I think, probably 20 and 50,000. So every one of these is a painting. Every one of them is a painting. Imagine. Every one of these is a painting. These cards were originally banned from America and the UK, so buying these cards in English good luck. They cost literally hundreds, if not thousands. Ridiculous, especially now that all you see is porn everywhere. So my cards are in Spanish, but I don't look at the words, but there are words which are English. There are words which are just across the top. These are German. So these words are German on top. I've never looked at that anyway, but a lot of the words on here, the writing is in English. So yeah, they're lovely. They're really lovely. I love the cards. They're really beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to go now. I'm going to have a lovely quiet day. And I'm going to send a message to the girls to make the tarot course as a special offer today. Today's special offer will be the tarot course. And I'll ask them to put, I mean, there's not many who want, so I'll ask them to put 10 special offers, okay? Because not everybody's going to want to do it, but I'll do 10 special offers. So enjoy. Have a lovely day. Thanks for joining me. I hope I haven't missed anybody. You all. I appreciate you too, guys. Thank you so much. You need to smuggle your cards into the UK. Why banned? Why banned? I just showed you. So you can't find any more. Which the reason why they were banned. I can't. There was one in particular that he said on the internet he was banned for. That one. It was banned because of that one. Yeah, I know. Ridiculous, eh? There's another one with there's a breast out there. It's not that many with like a piece of the body. That piece of the body bloody helped me. That breast helped me, like, oh, you're having breast implants. And there, this card helped me as well. 2 sisters. I get 2 sisters. 2, you know, you're having twins. 2 sisters. One kind of shy, the other one eccentric, and you know, look at me. Yeah, you get so much out of these cards. They're unreal. That one. So that's why they were banned, for that reason. I'm trying to see if there's any more which with a part of the body on. Ridiculous, eh? I don't see a woman's body there. I see a, you know, but it is there, and it's kind of naked, but I see a strong, powerful woman with a powerful mind. And yeah, another one there. I don't see a naked body. I see a beautiful soul who's willing to express herself. I don't see dirty things in cards. You know, you're either dirty minded or you're not, but I don't see that in cards. You know, but then again, I'm not the sort of person that says, "Oh, express yourself, take photos of your naked body all the time," and like, that's fine if you want to do that. That's fine if it makes you feel good. But yeah, but saying that, I used to collect Art Deco, Art Nouveau, and people used to come in, like girls used to come into my house saying, "Oh, you're a bit of a pervert, aren't you?" I'm like, "Why?" Because all you've got is naked. You've got nude. I said, I collect nudes. I collect them in what's it called? Vespers. I collect them in figurines. I collect them in paintings. Why? I don't know. I like the shape. It's not like I'm drooling over a woman's body. It's just I appreciate and think the body is actually quite beautiful when it's kept healthy, and it's not anything to be ashamed of. But then again, I wouldn't go on a nudist beach. No thanks. I don't want to go on. I don't want anybody looking at my body. No matter how good I was, I'm not interested in that. So, you know, there's a difference. You've got to figure out that difference, you know, from paedophiles and perverts to people who just appreciate things, but not in a disgusting way. Anyway, so yeah, that's just the way I am, just the way I think and feel. But I had a conversation yesterday with a guy who was telling me, "Oh, you're going to Bangkok, and oh, you're going for happy ending." I'm like, "No, I'm not, pal." And I surprised him by saying something that I haven't done for many years, and he was like shocked. And then he started telling me, about it here, and I'm like, "No, I don't believe you. I don't want to hear it." He said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I'm like, "Balinese? No, 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 no." "Oh, no, no, they come from Jakarta." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Um, and then he told me it's like, not good, not good, not good. But there you go. Really sad. I must admit, I'm starting to see Bali changing so much. It used to be family. It really did. It was family. It was kindness. It was love. It was joy. And it's been corrupted by Western society that's pouring in a cancer. I don't like it. So, there. I don't want to leave it on a bad note, but I just like to see the Balinese happy and smiling and have a lovely life. Look at this guy smiling. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Have a nice day. Have a lovely day, sir. It's nice to meet you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Happy, joyful, like joyful, smiling, happy, just happy. When you see them out of the way, the Balinese, and nobody's anywhere, they're laughing. They're filled with laughter, joking, simple things, the lovely things. First time this morning I drove on my motorbike to here, and I saw this Balinese girl who's dressed Western, really Western, earplugs. Another lady from Bali pulled up next to her as I'm driving down, and the woman with the ear pods in, the cancer pods in, started shouting at the girl on the bike. I mean, literally shouting at her. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, Spain, yes. England, yes. But come on, Bali, that I've never seen that. And she was ripping into her. I'm like, I slowed down just to turn because I was a bit concerned for the other. And she was screaming at her, shouting at her. And the other lady was really calm. And I just thought, she's infested with Western thoughts and energy, probably wanting the best car, the way she's dressed. She wants to be rich, she wants to be powerful, and I don't know, guys, just felt awful. But then you go back to the same thing. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, did I mention to you that on my first ride with one Balinese, lovely guy, he's very, very into his religion and family. He talked about family, and he talked about, I asked him about reincarnation, and they believe in reincarnation very much, and it's really important. So when Grandad dies, they wash and clean him and clean away through their gods, right? They burn or whatever it is, burn it and clean it away, and then when all that's gone and cleaned, the spirit comes into the family's next child. So if the brother is married and the wife has a boy, then they believe that Grandad has now come into that child. So again, religion. But it was very interesting. But I struggle with gods. I mean, you've got Shiva, like Vishnu. You've got gods with arms, tons of arms. You've got gods in elephants. You've got gods coloured, blue, and like all of these things like you know and I know, it's just not real. They're not real gods per se. I don't want to upset anybody, but they're not real gods. They're lovely. I've got them all over my jacket and all over the house. I've got, okay, the Buddha was alive, but the gods, all of these powerful gods, you know, it makes sense more to me that all of that was probably extraterrestrial race that once were here and once that controlled these limited minds and bodies, and that kind of makes more sense to me. They were not of this world, and they came here, and now they've gone, and that to me makes more sense than a god. They're not gods, but you can see the tradition that they've carried it on, and they really truly believe in their gods. They totally believe in their gods, and that's okay. Whatever God you believe in, I believe in the spirit world. I believe that the spirit world is an ocean of love and kindness, and it's beautiful, and every one of you guys are a drop of that ocean, and that's it really. It's the world that we come from, and we never die, and when we leave this body we will go back home, or we'll decide to go on to our next adventure wherever it may be. But we keep coming back to the Mother Source, the Mother Earth, in the sense of the spirit world. That's our Mother Earth. That's who we are. We are essences. We are a memory of it. We are a drop in the ocean of it. So I don't see it as a god per se. I don't bow to a god per se. I have the utmost respect for my home world. Can't wait to go back one day and be part of that world again, that ocean. That's just the way I see it. It's just a personal way I see it. And when I get there, I might go, oh, it's nothing like that. What I saw in my visions, what you showed me as a spirit world, oh, it's a little bit different. It doesn't matter. What matters is who you are in this world and your actions and what you do to make this world a better place, and how you can, be a good person and just do your best. That's all that matters in this world. It's always going to be evil. There's always going to be evil souls in these bodies. There's always going to be negative energies. There's always going to be entity attachment. Always here. But what you do, how you behave, how you act, how you grow, how you understand, and how you accept certain things, and how you let go of certain things, and trying to find the joy, or some joy at some point, even in a crazy mixed up world where we see it all going to shit. We still try and find moments where we can find joy and happiness, and just be kind and do a good thing, and just feel that you are part of this world and you're here for a reason, because they've been telling you that you're not. Darkness has been telling you that you're a pest, that you're a useless eater, that you don't deserve anything. That's what darkness does. That's what these evil people do. They keep putting fear into you as a child. They did it to me as a child. I remember when a teacher spread the message around, when we all went to a camp for a few days. The teacher spread a message that there was a head, somebody's head in a dustbin. It had to be the teacher, because the outcome was so... I didn't know at the time. Was I nervous? Yeah, I think I was. I was a bit nervous because all the kids were like crying and like, this is weird. Apparently this man with a bald head had an axe and a beard, and somebody painted that picture and said that there was a severed head in one of the bins. And it wasn't until a good few years later that one of my school friends told me that night, one boy was so nervous that he slept with the teacher because he couldn't sleep on his own. They say that if you want to know the truth, just follow the money. When it comes to dealings. If you want to know who the devious, darkest person, that the one who starts all this, just who benefits from it most. I think that teacher benefited in his darkness to have a child sleep with him. And what he did to that child, I don't know. But then a few years later, then, you know, as you get older, you start to hear things, and things happen to you at Mass. And you realise that the priests aren't what they say they are. They're dirty, disgusting human beings, many of them, hiding behind a cloth. And the women wearing their satin outfits, calling themselves nuns, actually enjoyed abusing kids by slapping them and screaming at them, and boys and girls. And when you step back from all of this, you realise that it isn't the outfit, it isn't the label, it isn't the man or the woman, it isn't the paedophile, it's what's inside that bodysuit. That makes all the sense in the world. You're either a good soul, a good spirit, coming from our home world, or you come from another world, which is a spirit world that feeds from pain and suffering. They see that as normal. All right, guys. Love you all. Have a great day. Take care. Till tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. I really hope you enjoyed.